Hello everyone and welcome back to the 3T Path channel. My name is Giridhari and today we're going to be reading the verse from Bhagavad Gita that Vin Diesel talks about in his movie Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk. So Billy, it's funny having seen Vin Diesel preaching Bhagavad Gita. So let's check this out. First he says this.
Yeah, the Hindus were onto something, Billy. Ours is what they called the karma of action, the way of the warrior.
Now, whoa, just a second here. Karma yoga is not just for warriors. Karma yoga means the yoga of action. So if you're in action, then you need karma yoga. And that means any kind of action, not just battlefield action, that also, but just us action, the stuff we're doing, taking care of kids, cleaning the house, going to work, studying, all the stuff we do. If you're in action, you need karma yoga, which is a huge important theme of the Bhagavad Gita. So now let's check out the verse he tries to speak. He says this.
Always perform with detachment. Any action you must do and surrender all actions to me. This is what Krishna tells the warrior Arjuna when he's hesitating the night before the great battle.
Okay, so now what he's actually saying, this is the verse. So this is the verse 510 from Bhagavad Gita. So let's check out the Sanskrit and a translation of this verse, and I'll explain it to you, the full verse. So this is how it goes. brahmaṇy ādhāya karmāṇi saṅgaṁ tyaktvā karoti lipyate pāpena padmapatram ivāmbhasā. Translation. One who performs all actions without attachment to the outcome, offering all they do into the ultimate reality of Brahman, is like a padmapatra, a lotus leaf. They stand untouched above the mud of matter and do not generate future karmic reactions. Very important. So this is a translation from the book, The Bhagavad Gita Comes Alive by Jeffrey Armstrong. So let's take a look a little closer at what's going on here. So first thing, very important. So this is a central concept of Bhagavad Gita. One who performs all your actions as an offering to the divine, as an offering to Krishna. Krishna specifically later says, to me, offering to me. This is a central topic of Bhagavad Gita. If you just get this, you kind of understood the Bhagavad Gita. The idea is, do your very best, do your dharma, do your very best, but do that not because you want something, but because that's who you are, it's your nature, and you're doing it out of love. So out of love, we offer it to the divine. But here specifically, it's, Krishna's using the word, the Brahman, so the ultimate reality of Brahman, the divine transcendence. So do what you have to do as an offering, not for you, not for somebody else, not for your family, not for your country, but do that just as an offering. It's your service to the divine. Very important yogic concept. So what happens when you do that? When you do that, he says, you become, it's very poetic, you become like a padmapatra, a lotus leaf. So, I don't know if you've noticed, because we wouldn't have that many lotuses around usually, but lotuses, the idea is you have a pond, you might have seen them at least you've seen them in pictures. You have a pond, and from that pond, of course, at the bottom of every pond is mud, right? So you have mud, dirty mud, dirt, and then from that mud, the lotus leaf comes out, and then it comes out of the water, and it's just there beautiful. It's just sitting there gorgeous and beautiful. And it's got nothing to do with the mud. It's all clean and beautiful. It's coming from mud, but it's all clean and beautiful. So it's used a lot in the Vedas. They use it in this sense of like, look, like this thing is coming from the mud, just like, oh, this thing, the mess that is material life, this messy life, stuff and karma, all this giant mess. So we rise above this, even though we're like coming from this mess, we're coming from matter, we're coming from this mess, but then, we're not touched by the mud, just beautiful. So that's the idea. You become a padmapatram. And then because of that, so they stand untouched above the mud of matter and do not generate future karmic reactions. The word in Sanskrit is actually papa, which is negative, which is sin. It's the word for sin. So you don't generate negative karmic reactions. Now, of course, it fits well with the movie because, you know, it's a wartime, it's a battlefield, there's soldiers, and of course Krishna was telling this to another soldier, Arjuna, and because, you know, war is heavy stuff, right? You're killing people, but how do you do that and stand above that mud of life? So you do that because if you're doing the right thing, it has to be the right thing, okay? It has to be your dharma. If it's not dharma, it doesn't count. Okay, so if you're just doing something that's evil, because unfortunately these days there's so many evil wars, so that doesn't count. Okay, you can't just offer some evil act because you have an evil government, you're working for like the wrong reasons. That doesn't count. But if it's like a good reason, if it's the right thing, like Arjuna, he was doing the right thing. He wasn't there for any other reason. It was the right thing. You know, the Kurus, Duryodhana and his gang they were taking over the government. It was a hostile, you know, they had taken over the government. They were actually asurs, they were actually like, you know, evil people. So he was just reestablishing his throne because it was his empire, it was his throne. So he was just reestablishing, he was doing the right thing. He was upholding the constitution, as it were. So he has to be doing the right thing. So you do the right thing and you do that as a loving offering to God. That is a central concept of Bhagavad Gita. So it's very nice that Vin Diesel quoted it. So that's it for now. Let me know if you watched the movie. Let me know if it makes sense to you. And have the rest of your day with lots of peace and lots of love.